Our next step is learning how to create interactive PDF elements. Now that the print file is complete, you need to repurpose the content into several different versions for digital distribution, a common assignment in any professional market. You already know that the PDF format can contain all of the elements, fonts, images, etc. required to create high-quality printing. Digital distribution PDF files also support interactive elements and multimedia, which are not possible in a static print project. In this stage of the project, what we are going to do is create an interactive booklet, hyperlinks, a slideshow of images, and a form that the users can fill out directly in Adobe Acrobat. InDesign allows you to create all of these elements directly in the layout without the need of additional software. So that's pretty cool, and let's get started. The first thing that we are going to learn how to do is define interactive bookmarks. I'm starting on page 391 for those of you who like to follow along. Okay, with this still open, and let's go back to page 1 just to start at the right place, I suppose. Okay, what we want to do is we want to choose layout at the very top, go clear down to the bottom, and we're going to add a table of content. And we're going to do a table of content styles. And it opens up a dialog box, which you probably can't see, but what we're going to do in that dialog box is click New in the table of content style dialog box, which opens up a secondary dialog box. At the top of that, what we are going to do is type PDF contents in the TOC style field. So we will highlight what's in there and type PDF contents. Okay, and below that is a title, and they want you to delete what's inside the title box and make it empty. And in the other styles list, let's see where that is. Other styles list. Okay, it's kind of about what's right to the left of the More Options button. So to the left of the More Options button is the other styles. And what we're going to do is scroll down the list until we find Subhead. And we are going to highlight that and click the Add button, which moves it over to the left-hand side. We're going to go into More Options, which is a button on the far right-hand side. So let's click More Options, and it opens up a whole bunch of other stuff. Then we're going to, while the subhead is selected in the paragraph styles, and you can tell that because it's kind of got a blue on it, what we're going to do is change the level field to 1. Mine already says 1, but make sure that the level field is 1. And at the bottom of the dialog box, make sure that create PDF bookmarks option is checked. Mine is checked, but make sure yours is checked. Click OK to return to the table of contents. So I will click OK, and I'm back on the content dialog box now. And then click OK to return back to the regular document window. Now our next step is to open Pages. And what we're going to do is add a new blank page at the end of the document. So I'm going to go up where it says None up here and drag it down below 4 and add a new blank page. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to Layout at the very top and go down to Table of Contents this time, which will open a dialog box. And you need to make sure that PDF Contents is selected in the TOC Style menu, and then click OK. And what it does is it loads it on my cursor. And so my next step is to take the loaded text and click in the empty page to create the table of contents. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the bookmarks panel, and how I do that is I go up to Window, Interactives, and then in Interactives I'm going to click Bookmarks, which opens up a bookmarks panel in a dialog box. And then I'm going to just kind of move it over to the side and do a Control S to save my work. Okay, one thing I want to just double check is make sure, yeah, everything is the way it's supposed to be there. Okay. Okay, the second part of this project is on page 394, defining hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are the most basic interactive element in any digital document. Every hyperlink has two parts, the hyperlink object or text and the destination. The destination is the document, a specific place in the file or other location that is called by clicking the hyperlink. InDesign Hyperlinks panel makes it a very easy to accommodate and apply hyperlinks to elements in a layout. So the very first thing we need to do is go to page 4. So at the very bottom of my document, I'm clicking back to page 4. And then the next thing I want to do is kind of zoom into this bottom right area. So I'm going to do Control plus. I'm going to move the bookmarks panel and put it on the bar like so it's out of the way. Where I want to be is where it says www.cacal.org or info@cacal.org. That's the area that we want to be working on. The next thing I need is my hyperlinks panel. So I'm going to go Window, Interactive, and this time I'm going to go and select the hyperlinks. Where are you, hyperlinks? There you are. And open the hyperlinks dialog box. Then I'm going to go over, and the first thing I want to highlight is the www.cacouncil.org. So I'm just going to go over and highlight that. And while that is highlighted, I'm going to click Create New Hyperlink. And where it is, it's at the very bottom of the dialog box. You'll see one that looks like a double arrow, and then the second one should be the Create the Hyperlink. And it is. And in the resulting dialog box, make sure URL is selected, which it is in the menu. Okay, and you'll also see that it is putting the HTTP on the front of it, and then click OK. And you'll see that in the hyperlinks box it does now show that that is a hyperlink. Now the second thing I want to do is go down and highlight without the period the info@cacouncil.org. And we're going to click the Create New Hyperlink again at the bottom. But this time I am going to choose, I got to figure out where it is. Hang on. Okay, at the very top of the dialog box, you're going to see link to URL. You want to change that link to URL to email. And as soon as I do that, you'll see that it changes all the boxes. It says destination, address, info@cacouncil.org. Now, there is also a subject line. So what you're going to do in the subject line is you're going to type RE : and then CAC Spring Brochure. And type that in the subject line. So when they do email this out, they'll know what it'll automatically show what it is for. Once I have the link to set at email, once I have the address set to info@cacouncil.org and the subject line RE:CA Spring Brochure, what I'm going to do is click the OK button, and you will now see in the hyperlinks panel that we now have two things that are actually links, and we're going to do a Control S to save our work. Okay, I think I mucked that up. Hold on, let's undo that. Edit, undo, edit, undo. First thing I have to do is get in the box I want to be in, so I need to tap on this box first. Once I have tapped on the correct box, which now I can see it highlighted around, then what I do is I choose text field and call it name. Okay, and make sure that it is required. And then I'm going to grab the second box, call it a text field, and I'm going to call this one address and make it required. Okay, then we will do the city one, again a text box. Okay, we'll call it city and make it required. Then we do state, also a text box. We're going to make them type everything. Type in state and make it required. And then last but not least, let's also do zip code, which we will do as a text box or a text field, excuse me. Call it zip code. And also make it required. Okay, now that we have all of those done, oh, we have to do email also, so let's do one more. Also as a text box or text field, call it email and make it required. Once I have all of those, let's do a Control S to save our work. And our next step is creating a radio button form field on page 397. Okay, so a radio button is a toggle that allows the user to say either yes or no choice. The control is either on, which means it's selected, or off, which means it's not selected. You can create a radio button group in which users can only choose one of a defined set of options. So that is what we are going to do. With the brochure open, we're still zoomed into the area that we need to be working on. And what we're going to do is we are going to work on this. The yes or no is going to be for this. Yes, keep me informed about upcoming events and opportunities. And I want you to select on the box there and then reopen your buttons and forms. Okay, and in the buttons and forms, what we're going to do this time is we are going to choose radio button. And once I've chosen radio button, okay, I'm going to go into the name area and add to mailing list. And then I'm going to click away from the radio button. And then I'm going to click it again to select it. And in the layers panel, okay, so we need to open up our layers panel and open up the layer 1. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down the list until we get to the add to mailing list group and expand it. And then expand normal on. So we will expand normal on. And then use the selected icon to select the circle. So we're going to select it and we're going to click the little blue thing to the right of it to really make sure that we've selected it. And then we are going to go up and change the fill color and the stroke color to the Pantone 8863C. So we'll change that. Okay, and we'll change that. And then we'll click the normal off. Which I need to find. Hang on a second. Okay, I don't like the